A quick update on some pairs that have developed since the weekend, starting with New Zealand US dollar. I still prefer to view this as a bearish sequence for now, given the overall structure on the daily, which I went over in the last video. I'm looking at this as a possible leading diagonal. If we see a breakout, I will change my count. However, considering this first sequence is corrective, there is no reason at the moment to assume that we are going to have another advance. So how I'm looking at this is a possible leading diagonal completed now with a correction. Alternatively, another low for 5 overall, small correction and a move down. I was reminded of a similar sequence that occurred in cable in 2015, which fooled a lot of people, including people who overcharge for their lessons in trading, people who just teach breakouts and not wave analysis. The sequence in cable that I'm talking about is this one in 2015. A lot of people were bullish. This region here, a lot of people were bullish because it looked corrective following this sequence up. However, if you look at this sequence, this here is obviously corrective. And what materialized after that was a diagonal, an LD for wave 1 of wave 3, something very similar to what we're seeing now in New Zealand US dollar. And if you go back and check the history of certain traders, a lot of people were bullish here before it collapsed. And so it's possible we're seeing the same type of thing on New Zealand US dollar now. So I'm keeping that in mind. I'm not going to be bullish on this here. Given the larger sequence of waves so far, I'm going to maintain for now that this is another X wave and we're going down for a larger Y still within, a larger W within Y. Okay, going to cable. I'm not yet convinced that we have a peak in. As I went over before, within the triangle, every sequence is 3 waves overall, and this is 3 waves here, but it may not be enough. And right now I'm viewing this as 3 only. I cannot force a 5 into that because if I go down to the 1 hour, this sequence alone looks like 5 just for the third part. So I'm going to keep this as a W and look for an X low for now for one more gyration higher. If it breaks down, then it does, and I will adjust, but I can't take a short position here given what I see in front of me. Still bullish on the dollar generally. Looking at the Canadian pairs, we may have an X wave in here in US Canadian dollar. I'm not bearish on this. I prefer to see the move up as I've been over many times already. I presented both options on both views on the weekend. Euro Canadian, on the 4 hour, this sequence here is probably 5 down. So if there is a corrective pattern trending up over the next few hours or days, there may be a sell into this. It's possible the whole sequence is done. However, I do like a move higher in all the Canadian pairs to complete a leading diagonal. The monthly isn't so bad. So if we do have a corrective sequence here, there will be a sell opportunity for one more gyration as a minimum, but I'm still looking higher overall for now. Yeah, the Canadian pairs. Okay, Aussie Canadian, I've been over this on the weekly. I'm looking for a bit higher in the ending diagonal for B. Out of the diagonal, we've had 3 wave moves so far. We will probably have a further gyration down as this is 3. The first 3 will probably have a correction of some sort, maybe just one day. And then I'm still looking for another move down toward 10050 or so. And I still prefer to see a move higher overall in this, and also probably in New Zealand Canadian because the down move on Friday was corrective. I'm not viewing this as, well, I went over this before. It is possible to count this as 5, but I like the idea of higher for it now, as I went over on the monthly. It is in that region to turn. I probably won't be trading this, however. Actually, just to clarify that, it is possible there's a high in here, and it is possible there's a 5-wave sequence here overall. So if a sell opportunity does appear, like with Euro Canadian, there may be a chance on that. My preferred view is higher. That's why. So I don't want to obfuscate this. Quite simply, if there is corrective price action in here, and there's chop, and there's channeling, and there's a 3-wave move overall, there may be a chance to sell into it. My preferred view now, disregarding the counts you see on the left, my preferred view is that this is corrective, however, and for a move higher, as with the other Canadians. I went over this again. Everything is in the weekend video. I'm still looking for a bit lower in this overall. For now, that is my preferred view. I will adjust if I see a setup, however. Okay, Euro Pound is moving up now. I'm not going to go over every detail. Please see the weekend video if you want more detail on this. But as a minimum, I would like to see some kind of move up. It will either be E of a triangle, in my opinion, for a big move down, or we're looking at wave 2 low for wave 3 in and a big move up. It's not clear at the moment. It will become clear quite soon, probably this week. Okay, Bitcoin I'm going to keep an eye on as I'm interested, and overall I think I found the wave 4 here, wave 4 low. That is how I'm viewing it. I've been over this for a few weeks now, and I was lucky to tag the low exactly. So from there, it's hard to maintain a count as things develop, especially in something like this, I find. But I'm going to have to count this as wave 1 up now. If I go to a lower time frame, I can force 5 waves out of that, though it's not my preferred view. And I'm going to count this right now as in wave 3 of 3. So if this count is correct, we will see an aggressive move up now over the next few weeks. That's my preferred view on this still. I still like the idea of a high towards 1800 overall. If you want more detail on this, I think the weekend video from 2 weeks ago had more of that, but there is some in last weekend's. And finally, Deutsche Bank. I'm going to add this as it appears from September 2016 through to January of this year. We've had a printed 5-wave sequence, and we are correcting there. On the next low, I will be looking for a turn for wave A in, and then correction and one more low, maybe to 1514, wherever, who knows. But I like the idea that this 5-wave sequence from September 2016 will hold, and we will see a continued move up in Deutsche Bank. Okay, yeah, that's it for now. Any questions, let me know. Bye-bye.